the Shelly Studio. Today I'm working on my hashtag Artpocalypse 2020 prompts. This one is day 21. The prompt was green. I couldn't think of anything clever and magical for green, so I just searched for a quote that I liked relating to magic. I've written it out here in paper and cut it all out. Thank me for not making you sit and watch me cut that all out. Just kidding. Then I figured I'd make some sort of green background and put that quote on there and go from there. So I am using my color flash. I think this one is called yellow, but it flashes green. It looks kind of lime green to me. And I've used it elsewhere in the book. If you remember, I used it on the fleur-de-lis. So I just kind of wanted to use it again in my little mini journal, just so it's in there more than once. I don't know, that's kind of an art thing, right? You want to use, if you use a color in one part of your artwork, you want to put it in another part of your artwork. It's kind of, that sounds silly, but it's kind of that idea. Alright, so just to give it some interest, I have this stencil I haven't used yet. It's really flimsy, so I taped it down, and I'm using, it's a green, but it's like super dark. I can't remember if it was Hooker's green. Maybe it was a dark teal. I'm trying to remember. We'll know when we add some white to it what kind of green it is, because I decided it was too dark. Yeah, see, it's like a dark teal color. So I'm going to put that back on and just smush this on here and give it a little bit more of an interesting texture, visual texture for my background. There we go. And I have to fix my little boo-boo. Doesn't perfectly fix it, but hey. Alright, so now I've got my words, and I'm going to just glue them all on here. I'm using some matte medium. And hopefully they all fit. I tried to make sure they would fit, but I feel like they stretched out after I cut them. I do have this going super fast. Not that you can tell at all. And this page gets worked and worked and worked. I felt like you couldn't tell what the words were, so I did this to it. And then it's harder to read that way. I don't know what I was thinking. So I thought maybe I would put like some green or black vines growing up. So I created some lines, and I'm going to paint them black. And I set it over the top and don't like it, so I don't end up using this. But I'm showing you because I do eventually, like, my goal was to use this in the book, and it's going to happen eventually. Alright, and if you're curious, okay, right here, I'm going to glaze the whole thing. But if you're curious what the quote is, I'll tell you. It says, "Magic is really very simple. All you've got to do is want something and then let yourself have it." So I cover that all up and then wipe it back, just because I was really not happy with what I had come up with. This is still like one of my least favorite pages, but I think in the end it becomes a little bit more interesting. Just uncovering the words to make sure you can see that. Got my little buddy over there. He pops in every once in a while I'm doing this stuff. So, I must have lost track of the footage. I drew these onto some paper, and so I'm just going to use a glue stick and glue them on. So I figured you needed the hands to let yourself have something, right? So the hands are there to catch whatever magic is going to come to them. And yeah, they're kind of crazy bony fingers, but then, this page, like I said, I put all these dots in here. I wanted it to look magical, and like those dots were some sort of magic dust that were falling into the hands. So that's why they're there. And now I'm trying to make the hands look a little bit better. Maybe like they're not like pasted on the paper. I don't know. Just giving them some shading. They just look like a witch's hands. They're very bony looking. Shade underneath it. And there you have it. Alright, so on to the next one. This one is day 22, and the prompt was water. And I just decided to add this color to both pages just to keep them similar. So when I get around to that page. And there's a little bit of gold already on there, so I'm adding gold everywhere. Just mixing it in. So the prompt on this one, like I said, was water. So I looked up when I had looked up the symbol for earth back previous video, Earthy was prompt 18, so it was the second to last video. It had the symbols for earth, water, fire, and air, I believe. So I found the one for water, and it was basically an upside down triangle. So I looked for another symbol of water and found something similar to what I create here. So what I'm doing right now is just creating an interesting painted piece of paper to cut my triangle and my water symbol out of. And I'm just adding a couple of different blues. And it's trying to use a pokey tool to hold it so it doesn't get away from me. And then I'm going to add a little bit of color flash on there in the blue just so it will sparkle. And I know you can't tell, well, there you go. You can't tell really well on the video, but I think it was cool. Alright, so I am going to squaring off this and straightening it up, and now I'm going to turn it into a triangle. Finding the middle of one side and then just coming down on both. Just similar to what I did with the other one, and I'm going to take the center out. I won't make you watch me do that. I just kind of measure like 1/4 of an inch on all the sides so that I have equal thickness on all the sides. And now that it's measured, I'm going to just use my X-Acto knife and cut it using my measurements as a guide, and hoping I don't go too far in the center. And then we'll just have to get the corners really good and pop that out. So now it's out, I'm just going to take my marker and go around the edges just to take away the white. Okay, so on this next one, I'm going to do the symbol for water. And yeah, it looks like a drip of water, or drop of water. But it has sort of swirling thing inside. And now I'm going to cut that one out. I know this one's pretty basic. I did go around and ink the edges on that one as well. And now we'll bring the book in and glue everything in. In fact, after I get these glued in, I decide it's a little basic, so I do some doodling on it. The doodling I put on it is not symbolic in any way. It's just for fun. Oh yes, and the quote. It was like, if there is magic on this planet, it is in the water. Or it can be found, contained in water. So here's where I add the doodles to the page. And like I said, they're nothing specific, just random doodling. And when you start doing that, it's like I want to do more, or I want to do more. Keep doodling. So I decided to go down one side, or up one side of my triangle. And when my jelly pen's working, I want to work it. Because sometimes it's not working. Today was a good day. And just a little ink around the edges, and I think that is all I did on that one. Yeah. So there it is. Oh, you get a sneak peek of the last one on this, because I just took those pictures today. Alright, so the next one, this is day 23. We are so close to being done. I'm thinking 2 more videos, and then I'll do like a flip through of the whole book and read all the quotes, because I think that'd be fun. So trees. So I decided to do a landscape, and I'm just doing like an ombre, orangey yellow sort of because it kind of goes with fall, which it's getting kind of cold out there. Are you guys getting cold? I hear there's going to be snow in the mountains this weekend. I can't believe it. I mean, it has been known to snow on Halloween here before, but I'm not ready for it. Now, my paper this is just, this isn't any kind of artist quality paper. If you joined me at the beginning, you know this is a pamphlet that I just converted into my journal. So it's kind of wiggly, and so it makes for very wiggly trees. And even when they're actually straightened up, and I do straighten them up so they don't have the waves in them, you can't tell when you're looking at it because the paper is wiggly. I'm just going to go for some fine lines and some branches. I don't know. I do trees. I get tired of drawing these branches. I mean, it amazes me the people that can do the detail, you know, and do all these branches when they're painting. Because I like quick art, I guess. I like the instant gratification of paint. And it's just too long. I mean, mine could have used a lot more branches. Well, and I'm not very good at it either, so, you know, there's that too. And these are supposed to be quick, you know, they're small every day, so you can't get into all this massive detail doing something every single day. And I put a little stuff on the bottom to make it look like shadows and the ground, and then a quote. This time I'm using my Posca. This one was, let's take our hearts for a walk in the woods. I can't remember. And let's take our hearts for a walk in the woods and listen to the magic whispers of old trees. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so the last one for today, which you kind of got a sneak peek on that one, is swirls. This is day 24. So it's a Cinderella-esque sort of girl there that I just made out of an old folder. And I'm going to use it as a mask. Since there was all that gold and sparkle on this page, I thought that would make a pretty dress. And then we just do blue in the background. And it kind of coordinates color-wise with the water on the other side. So there's our little Cinderella, and since it was Cinderella and the prompt is swirl, it's the magic, the gold is the magic swirling around her to create that pretty dress. You hear me making noise, I'm grabbing my book so that I can read the quote when we get to that point. I think you can kind of see the sparkles. Yeah, there you go. The gold and the sparkle in the dress. And then I just do a little bit of a line with my gold marker just to hopefully help that stand out a little bit more. Because without the reflection of the light, it's kind of hard to see. In normal lighting, anyway. So the quote I put on here is, the day I decided that my life was magical, there was suddenly magic all around me. I thought that fit with these swirls of magic going around Cinderella's dress. I hope you've been enjoying these. You know, when I do all these daily ones, I don't get as many views. But I hope they've been fun. They're so much fun to do. If you did like it, please, you know, hit that thumbs up or comment. I really appreciate it. It helps me with the YouTube, so my videos get viewed more. And if you're not a subscriber and you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.